Hey guys, James here today and welcome to another house building video here on my channel. Today, we're making a townhouse. I've wanted to do a townhouse in The Sims 4 for a while. I mean, I've done semi-townhouses, but nothing quite like this. This is kind of old school New York inspired, I guess you could say. I mean, it kind of, something that happened along the way. When I finished building the exterior and I stepped back and had a look at it, I was like, this kind of looks steampunky. I don't know. You'll see it when, I mean, you might have already seen it in the thumbnail. I don't know. It has a slight twinge of steampunk vibe to it. It's interesting. It's interesting. Anyways, had a lot of fun with it. It was sort of slightly inspired by one of my builds a few weeks ago, New Groove, which was that industrial build I did a little while ago. I used similar sort of color scheme to that one. So these old style bricks and these sort of black iron fences here you can see I'm using already. I'm also using a basement in this where you can see I did like a basement window well just next to the stairs. That's just like a little window well so you can get daylight into the basement there. I mean, you'll see it develop as we go through obviously, but here it is. So this is on the 20 by 40 lot in Newcrest. I don't think there are any other 20 by 40 lots in The Sims 4, are there? I don't know. But anyways, you could probably place this on a smaller lot if you just bring it in and sort of move it forward a little bit because as you can see, first of all, it's quite thin and it also doesn't actually go back that far. I haven't tested it, but you'll probably be able to fit this on like a 20 by 30 or something like that. Something a little bit more mainstream. Most of the garden is just grass, so you probably get rid of that later anyways. Now, I was really upset when I was doing this. So you can see I'm using those sort of old school, sort of like old looking bricks for the walls and all that. I was really upset that they don't actually have a foundation texture that matches it at all. There's nothing that goes with those bricks. Like they have all these brick textures, as you can see in the foundation there, but they're all the new looking bricks, all the clean looking ones. None of them match that texture. And I was like, it was making me mad. I'm going to be honest. It was making me mad. I was like, all those kind of words. No, I wasn't actually swearing. But no, mainly because otherwise I'd be just talking to myself. But I think I was listening to a podcast when I was doing this, I think. Anyways, yeah, there's no matching one. I was just like, what? In what world do we live in where there's no matching? Oh yeah, that's right. This is Sims 4. Yeah, that's right. Nothing matches. And then I was like, okay, I'll just deal with it. So instead, you can see I changed the foundation to like a sort of light gray with a black trim. Mainly because the black trim matches the black floor trims I'm using on the upper levels. And it also matches this sort of fire escape stairs. I'm doing this sort of black like metal stairs, which they work very well. So yeah, I went for like a little fire escape kind of thing there on the side. And then I'm doing all these little pop outs on the side here. I don't know, like I guess window bays and balconies, I guess you could call them, just to add sort of all these sort of elements of detail and layers to the building. This is actually kind of a good little visual tutorial in a way. Like this started off, you could see it just started off as a big rectangle sitting on the lot, and I'm just adding interesting and weird shapes with balconies and little window bays that come out of the building. Now they don't significantly change the shape of the building in any way. Fundamentally, this is just a big rectangle, and it's never anything more than a big rectangle. So just keep that in mind. This is something you could probably whip up yourself quite easily as well. Just looking at this. If you're, I always have comments where people say, whenever I build it, it's always just a square, it's always just a rectangle or something like that. Just start adding on like little window bays and balconies, especially if you're doing a style like this, where it's sort of industrial-ish, sort of townhousey kind of something like that. You can easily chuck them on the sides, and it really, really helps out with the look, and it just adds so much more detail. And you can see also on the ground there, I've added in some more window bays, or I guess light wells, or window well. Make more sense is what I was trying to think. I was trying to think of the word. Yeah, little window wells there, so we can get some more windows and daylight into the basement. And then I'm coming around the other side here, doing a similar thing as well, adding a little window bay on the ground level and some balconies up above. It's the combination of all these balconies and columns that start to sort of add together and start looking a little bit steampunky. It wasn't supposed to be too steampunky. I mean, it's not really. I mean, I'm just saying when you look at it all together, you kind of go, oh yeah, no, is a little bit of steampunk. Not supposed to be though. So I guess that's really a fail on my part. Really a fail on my part that it sort of looks a little bit like that. I really wanted to get, so you saw just before I got those little red windows in on the side, and I was like, because I've never used that window in a red color before. I'm like, those look really cool. I really like those. I don't want to use those in a future build now. But I was really upset. There's no red door with a dark wood trim. So I couldn't match it to the rest of the building at all. And then, it ended up in a position where it didn't make any sense using those red windows because they didn't match with anything. And then, I don't know, they have a cool color. And I thought it went well with the bricks. And I was like, hey, that looks pretty cool. I could do something like that. Then in the end, I was like, no, it doesn't look good. Get real, James. Get real. Get your head out of your ass. It doesn't look that good. Let's just change it into the dark wood windows. It looks much better. Let's be honest. Let's be honest with ourselves. It looked terrible. So there's a bunch of balconies on this build. Most of them are inaccessible, and the ones that are have nothing on them because they're very small. There's even one that has a door to a balcony, and I put a sofa in front of it because I thought that seemed kind of real. Like it was a nice realistic touch. You'll see when I furnish the room, and even when we look at the screenshots, that I thought it was quite a nice little realistic touch. Like because it's a really small balcony, and you're like, well, the floor space in here is quite small. Let's just shove our couch there. We're never going to go out there. Let's just shove a couch in front of it. Yeah. We all good. Oh, there's the first time I've said it in this video. Okay. I was really trying not to say we all good in this video. Because here's the thing. I've said this to the last couple of house builds, the last couple of weeks. This is one of the pre-recorded videos. And I recorded the commentaries for the previous two house builds literally minutes before this one. So what I'm saying now comes minutes after what I said before in a couple of weeks ago. So if you notice similarities in phrases, so that's probably why. And I'm trying to mix it up a little bit. Anyways, at this point, I realized, you know what, the red just really isn't working. Let's just get rid of it and fix the windows up here. And you can see that the exterior of the build is really starting to come together now. Starting to get the sort of final look of it. As you can see, pulling it together. And I think I'm going inside now to work out the layout. So obviously there's 4 levels in this build, which if you like playing in a vertical environment is pretty cool. If you like to play on one level of have a single story home, probably not the build for you, but I think it's pretty cool. I wouldn't mind trying to have a go in this one, have an actual game session in this one, because I think it'd be pretty interesting. It has so many different levels. I think it's just kind of cool. A little bit of detail. I'd also be interested to see if Sims would start, because there's an exterior staircase that you can see, and that actually works. Like you can go up those stairs and go in the doors. I'd be interested to see if Sims actually walk up those. It would also be interesting to see if you set the on the exterior stairs, if on the top level you set that as your front door, if all the visitors would come up the stairs outside and go to the top level, that'd be pretty funny. That'd be pretty funny. Anyways, I spent a while messing around with these stairs because I need a good spot to fit them in. That works on all levels, and I think where I put them actually works pretty well. It also creates a really interesting layout. So now, because this is not a modern build, and I wasn't designing this to be sort of a modern interior or anything like that. I was taking inspiration from the new Groove build that I did. That was a few weeks ago now. Probably, I think it might actually be a month ago after when this video comes out. I think, yeah, the new Groove build from a month ago, which was that sort of industrial build that this one is taking some inspiration from. I also went with a similar sort of vibe in this one, in that I made the layout a little bit pokey. Like it's a little bit weird. It's a little bit, why is that there kind of thing. And I thought it's just one of those things that adds a lot of interest. And so you can see I'm doing it here. I've cut out a balcony section that looks down to the level below. And then I'm like, why don't I just take that another step further? And you'll see in a second. I do it. I go to the second level. And I cut out another balcony looking down even further. So you can look from the very top level all the way down to the ground floor. It doesn't go into the basement, but you can look from the third floor down to the ground floor. And it's actually kind of interesting. You'll definitely see it in screenshots a little bit clearly if you don't get a good look at it now. But you can see I'm cutting out the sort of floor at the moment. And I'm also leaving all these columns everywhere. And it creates a really interesting architectural sort of element to the build. Like when I go to furniture and there's like these columns here and there, I don't know. It's really interesting to sort of build around that. And I actually had a lot of fun like furnishing it and then trying to like fit everything in a way that made, remote sense with the layout I was working with. So I've gone with some nice dark wood flooring in the building because it seemed to fit and go with the style, especially because all the stairs and doors and windows are all dark wood as well. So I went with that and use that sort of traditional black and white tile for the kitchen and bathrooms. I know there's a lot of people that are in the firm camp that black and white floor tiles are awful, but they really work well with traditional style builds, and they make sense for them as well. So I don't know. I like the look of them. I think it works really well. And just trust me. If you don't believe me, just wait till the screenshots. And if the screenshots you're still like, I don't believe him. They still don't look good. Then hey, that's okay. We don't all like the same thing. You know, that's what makes us human. We don't. Not everyone likes the same thing. You don't like what I like. I don't like what you like, and I also don't like you. But you like me. So they. that took a mean turn. Let's go back a few sentences. So picking up the wallpaper here, and you're going around doing some old-fashioned wallpaper. So in the basement, I thought, because at this point I was like, because I'd already done like all the rooms and all the layout, and I was like, I knew which room was going to be what. And in the basement, it was like an extra space where I'm like, I've got a whole other floor. What am I going to do with it? Because I had all the rooms planned out, and like, there's this whole floor. It was another situation where I was like, I wish there was a pool table that I could put in here, because it would make sense. It would make a lot of sense to have a rumpus room down the bottom. And I was like, hang on, why don't I just make it a rumpus room? It's kind of the way I design it, and you saw very briefly the sort of you actually can see it here as well, the pattern and texture of the basement. It's like sort of unfinished wood flooring, brick walls, and sort of semi-painted brick walls in the basement. And I was like, okay, let's kind of get this sort of unfinished vibe to the basement. Like it's kind of like it's been sort of semi-renovated is the kind of vibe I was going for the basement. But I won't spoil it. We'll get to it in the end. And I think you're going to enjoy the basement. I mean, I did. I had a lot of fun building it and furnishing it as well. But here we are in the kitchen. So as you can see, we've got that column coming right down in the middle. We've actually got two columns right there, right in the middle of the kitchen. I don't know. It's really interesting just having that sort of whoop right in the middle of the kitchen. And it looks really cool when you look down from the level above as well. It just adds a little interest to it, I guess. I don't know. I enjoyed it. And then I was going to put those hanging pots. And I was like, oh, hang on, there's no roof there. There's no roof there. So I did slightly adjust the balcony there just to make it fit a little bit better in the kitchen space. Because I did want to do... Well, the reason I did that is because I have those cabinets on the wall there, and the balcony was actually looking down to the top of the cabinet. So it's like it kind of seemed weird that there'd be cabinets there and open to the level above. So I just moved the balcony over one. But yeah, here we are doing a little bit of detailing in the kitchen there. A little coffee machine and a bowl of fruit. Now I did remember to put a bin in this kitchen. It comes much later. I think when I'm like, oh, I've got to do a bin for the outside. I was like, oh yeah, I've got to do one in the kitchen, and I put it in later. So I don't think I do it at the beginning. So there's a small breakfast table here, but this house does have a beautiful formal dining room, so you can have the whole family sit around there, because there's obviously quite a number of bedrooms. Well, I said quite a number. I think there's 3 bedrooms, but you could increase that, because I think there's a few entertaining rooms that are like you could change one of those into a bedroom if you wanted. But just doing the ground floor bathroom here. Using some island counters with the sink on it there, which I thought it'd feel quite nicely. I could just use regular counters, I guess, but I mean, I don't know why I went with island counters in that situation, but I did. So there's that. Enjoy. Enjoy that, I guess. Just getting some nice lighting there. Removing those temporary lights. I always use that light, the beamer it's called, to light up the interior while I'm sort of choosing colors and all that, because it provides enough light that you can actually see what you're doing. So getting the dining room here, it's in keeping with the house and the style. It's quite a small room, but it is all usable, in case you're wondering. Your Sims can get around to the other side and sit in the dining room. So you could have 6 Sims sitting at the dining table, all eating together, if you could manage to get all Sims together at the same time. It's totally possible. I mean, they would probably have a little bit of a hard time getting, if you got them all in there at the same time, trying to get through the door, but it's Sims. They'll figure it out. And then I've got a nice rug on the floor as well, so your table doesn't scratch your beautiful hardwood floors underneath. And then the room here at the front, I turn into like an office/library kind of room. It was originally going to be a sitting room. I was trying to figure out how to do it, and I was like, oh, hang on. This is kind of too small to really fit that kind of stuff in. So I was like, let's turn it into like a library kind of room. So got a nice, that's actually a large 3-length table. And I was like, that kind of works. That kind of works in this situation because I've joined it to the bookcase, or made it like look like it's kind of part of it, and then shoved the desk chair on it with a computer. And it's kind of like it's an L-shaped desk kind of thing with some bookcases on top. Got a nice jazz poster. It's not really, I guess it's jazz. I don't know. So like a dude with a bass by the looks of it, I think. Then just rotated the sofa so you can get in there, get a nice book, sit down on the sofa and have a read. Nice quiet room on the ground floor of the house. And all that stuff is usable, by the way. That bookcase, you seem can get to it just fine. And also the computer, they can use that just fine as well. Because I actually had to test it. I wasn't sure if I put that little side table there, if they could get through. And so I made sure to test that. I was like, yeah, they can. That's really cool. Of course, getting the obligatory coat rack and shoe rack by the front door. So you have all the things that you need. So here we are on the second floor now. This is the one, obviously you can see the balcony there. This is the room with the balcony that looks down to the kitchen. The only problem and the only logistical thing that ideally you wouldn't want to have an open space there is because that's the kitchen and then this is a living space with a TV. If you had the TV on and there's people in the kitchen down below, it would be so loud. It would be the loudest thing, especially as well because the level above is also open. So you have this vertical space of 3 open rooms that all join together. It would be very loud, especially once you see what I put in the room upstairs. It doesn't make the most sense having these balconies, but I think it makes sense because it looks cool. It looks cool, so it makes sense. I mean, what more could you want? It's Sims. It is what Sims is all about, having a bit of fun, doing some crazy things here and there. And you can see how I've, like what I was talking about before with the columns. Like the columns are just in the room. They're where they are, and I sort of furnish and design around it. And it looks really interesting. And oh yeah, there's the door where I put the sofa in front of the door. I was like, that's actually an interesting idea. Like that's something you'd probably do in real life as well. Because that balcony is 100% useless. It's like you open the door, and it's like 2 square balcony. It's like, well, why would you want to go out there? So I mean, and also in reality, you could like because there's a window onto the balcony as well. You could just open the window and get through that if you wanted to. But yeah, so I just put the sofa in front of it. Thought it was a nice little way to do that. And then we have the 2 single bedrooms here on this level. One at the front and then just one at the side. Trying to figure out how to get an end table in there. Obviously, it's not going to be right next to the bed, just because it's a diagonal and I couldn't really fit it in. So I just did it. Next to it. And it seemed to work just fine. No complaints whatsoever from the bed itself. Bed did not complain, so that's a good sign. Really good sign. And yeah, getting the set of drawers, a mirror, some lights. I mean, I'm just saying what's happening now. So yeah, it's looking very nice. Getting that chair in there. Yeah, no, I always have the hardest time with bedrooms because I always think like bedrooms always have the same things. It's like a bed, a side table, a set of drawers, and like a mirror. And that's my basic setup for a bedroom. And then obviously like, or they also have like a desk sometimes like I'm doing here. And I always think like, and I've said this before on previous house builds where I'm just like, well, if you were to download this house and move in your own Sims, you're probably, the room you're most likely to customize is probably the bedrooms because you'd customize it to that Sim that you're moving into the room. So I don't know. I tend to always, like the bedrooms tend to be more generic than the other rooms. Like the bedroom at the front of the house, like the diagonal room, the sort of window bay, that's kind of just, it's just like a white room really. It's pretty generic. The kids room here is a little bit more colorful, but I don't know. I generally keep bedrooms pretty generic because I feel like you're probably going to customize them if you were to download it anyways. Anyways, that's the bathroom at the front of the house on this level. There's at least 1 bathroom on every level of the house. I think there is only 1 on every level. I don't think there's any ensuite in this house. I don't think there is. I think it's 4 bathrooms, 3 bedrooms. Yeah, I think that's what this house ends up being because there's 4 levels and a bathroom on each level. Because otherwise, it's like if you were on, it'd just be annoying if there wasn't a bathroom on the level because you have to go downstairs, you'd have to go upstairs. Yeah, so there's no ensuite because that bathroom is actually joined to the hallway. And the reason I didn't do it as an ensuite is because the room next to it is like another living space. So it's like if people wanted to go to the toilet, they could without going through a bedroom. And there wasn't really room for an ensuite as well as that bathroom. And if there was, then there'd end up being 5 bathrooms and 3 bedrooms, which would be kind of ridiculous. But there's something like, I mean, what you could do with this upper level, you could turn the room at the back of the house into another bedroom if you want to. So then you could have 4 bedrooms. It's just the way I set it up. That's another living space that we're going to get to in just a moment. But here we are in the master bedroom again, doing pretty generic thing. But I think it looks quite nice. I do like the fancy sort of just all white sort of furniture look. A little bit of color in the sort of paintings and some of the little accessories here and there, but keeping it pretty standard. Yeah, it looks good. It gets the job done. It gets the point across that it's a bedroom. So that's a pretty good sign. And the bathroom on the upper level. I mean, all the bathrooms are pretty standard stuff as well. I think I usually use the pretty similar fixtures on each level. I think this one's a little bit different, but pretty straightforward here and there. Little toilet roll, toilet paper roll, and a towel rack. But here we are in the other rumpus room up the top. So yeah, again, this one is open to the levels below, which, yeah. See, after putting the piano in, it's like, oh dear. Like, okay, so if people are in the kitchen, they're making food, they're talking and having fun. Then there's people in the room in the middle, like in the level just below, watching TV or watching a movie or something. And then there's someone playing the piano on this level. It would be so loud. The noise would just carry through this whole area. It makes no sense, but it looks so cool. It makes 0 sense to have it like that, but it just looks cool. I really love the sort of aesthetic that it gives the house. It gives it just character as well. It's like, I don't know. I don't know if you can tell, but I enjoy it. I enjoy it. So yeah, then I turn this place into like so it's like a kind of like a parlor room kind of thing. So you have like the piano and just a seating area and a bookcase. So, I mean, yeah, you could very easily turn that into a bedroom if you preferred. And then the basement, yeah, so this is what I was talking about. Like, it's kind of like this sort of unfinished vibe. Like, the floorboards haven't been finished. The wall is just brick. And then some of the bricks are, like, painted. Like, they've got that white painted brick. I did those on the interior walls and the walls of the window bays because I thought, hey, like, they started the renovation. So they've dug out space for the window wells. And so they put up that wall there, and they're like, yeah, let's get it done. And then they never finished it. And they're like, hey, let's put a bar in here. I don't know, like it's kind of got. I don't know. I like the look of this place. I really do. It's a really nice contrast to the rest of the house. Like the rest of the house is all old and sort of traditional kind of styling, and then the basement is like, yeah, let's just chuck some stuff in here. Let's just chuck some crap in here. Even has a sink there for the bar area. I don't know. It's like, they're just like, hey, we got a bit of money. Let's do this. Oh no, we've run out of money. Let's leave it. I guess that's it. And it's also a very good area for like a little bit of skill building as well. Cause you saw I put the exercising machine there, and there's also a woodworking table. Then I also chuck in an art easel. So you can come down here and do quite a bit of skill building as well. Or, have a few drinks with your mates. You could do that too. I mean, we accommodate everyone. Get a nice little comfy sofa. It's like an old sofa they've just chucked down there to sit on, have a bit of fun. And then I'm really disappointed there's no actual mirror that just fits in that little light square thing. So I just put 2 in there. So it's kind of a little bit of arty there. And then I decided to make the bathroom look as cheap as possible. Like it again, like sort of they've just done what they can with the money they have, and they're just like, yeah, well, job done. We did all we could. That's all we could do. That's all we could afford. So I've just done some cheap sort of stuff down there and give it sort of a kind of like unfinished vibe. Some like clothes under the sink there, if I can think of words. And then this room I thought would be a bit of fun. Turn it into a card room for your poker night with your buddies. Have your poker buddies come over. And, you got to do it in the basement so in case cops come by, they can't see. You don't want the coppers seeing. Oh. And then I just chucked up a bunch of paintings on the wall, which probably skyrocketed the price of the house because I never check how much paintings cost when I put them on, like in a build, and some of them have ridiculously expensive price tags. And I was like, oh dear. But anyways, here we are. We finished furnishing now, and we're back on the outside doing the exterior look. I thought I'd put it on a base of concrete, like it would slot into it's kind of like it's been cut out of New York, moved and put in a grass field in Newcrest. It doesn't fit the surroundings of the world, but it doesn't really need to. It stands on its own. It's proud of what it is, and it likes to be where it is. Anyways, so then I sort of border it up here with some hedges on the right hand side, and just give it a little bit of landscaping. And yeah, so I've kind of built it in a way like where it's on a plot of land inside of the plot. You'll see what I mean in a second. Like I do a fence in the backyard for that area. No, like so it's not the whole width of the lot. It's not the whole 20 square width. Yeah, so you can see that like what I did with the backyard. So I made it kind of like smaller than it actually is. And that's why I was saying you could probably put this on a smaller lot. Anyways, I don't know how many squares wide it is, but it may even fit on a 15 wide block. But here we are in the screenshots. I don't know why that one's in there, because that's before I did the landscaping, so apologies about that one. But here we go. Here's the shot of the front, and you can just I love the exterior look of this build. It's just kind of crazy. It's got a lot of detail to it as well. And like I said, I don't know, it's got a vaguely steampunk vibe to it as well, just because of all the columns and all the balconies and all that kind of stuff, and because it's like so tall as well. Yeah, it's got a vague steampunk. I'm not saying it is. I'm saying it. It kind of reminds you of it a little bit. So just getting some interesting shots of the exterior, because I think there's some angles of it look really cool. There's the backyard. Got a jungle gym for the kids to go and play on. You could probably put a pool out there if you wanted it as well. Maybe a spa. Another shot from the front. Here we are in the entrance hall. We've got a grandfather clock on the right, coat rack on the left, stairs right in front of us. Here is the library at the front of the house. You can see that with a bookcase and all that kind of stuff. Here is the formal dining room. Yeah, it's pretty formal. Yeah, it's not, people never use it, so it exists. And the ground floor bathroom. Nothing too special in there. Standard stuff. Here's the kitchen. The kitchen breakfast area, I guess, not dining area. A few angles of that. You can see the balcony up above. I wish you could change the colors of ceilings in Sims 4, because I would change that to a wood. It'd make more sense. Another angle there. So there's one looking down, but we'll get a further back shot of it in a minute when we travel upstairs. So this is the second floor landing, the hallway. I really love the sort of weird hall shape, how it's like an L-shaped hall. Looks kind of cool. I enjoy it. And here's that single bedroom at the front of the house, with the bed there. And then this is a sort of child's bedroom in the middle. I don't know. Yeah, it's a child's bedroom. And here is the sort of the living room, the main living room of the house with the TV and the chess table. Another angle over there. You can see the kitchen down below. I don't know. I really love that shot. I think it's cool. Here's a shot like looking down from above. And again, we'll get another shot in a minute of that. Here is the third floor landing up the very top. And we'll see the master bedroom just here. Beautiful picture on the wall. Probably costs a lot. That bed is also super expensive. Here is the bathroom, of course. I mean, I'm sure you can tell that's a bathroom. And here is that sort of parlor room up the very top level with the piano. And we'll have a look down. You can see just down there on the left to the lower level. And do we get a shot? I think, you get a shot. There you can see the kitchen all the way down the bottom there. You can see all the way down. Here is the basement. I think this looks kind of cool. It's kind of, I don't know. It looks cool. I'm very happy with it. It's a nice contrast to the rest of the house, I think. So that's the bar area there. It's sort of like they're like, hey, let's splash out in an expensive bar. And then they're like, oh crap, we've run out of money. That's all we can afford. And the little poker room, or the cards room technically, and the bathroom. And of course, the download link for this is in the description down below, or you can search for my username on the gallery, which is the Sim Supply, same as it is on YouTube. Or you can search for the hashtag the Sim Supply, and it should come up for you just fine. So here are the final few screenshots of the floor plan, so you can see how it's all laid out. But thanks for watching. I'll see you next time, and have an awesome day.